I'm Gooddaycows, the #1 tank in North America, and welcome to my LMS guide. In this video, I'll be teaching you everything you need to know on how to win and get points in LMS. Now, if you look in the description, there will be timestamps for everything I'll be going over in this video. Alright, let's get into it. First off, how to get here. If you want to get here, you can simply use your Clan Wars teleport, and it should teleport you right there. Or you can use the canoe if you are on a free-to-play world, or just simply use the dueling ring teleport to the Ferox Enclave, and you'll be right here. Just run over here, and you'll be right at LMS. Now that you've made it to LMS, you want to make sure you're in the right world to start your games. 492 is the competitive LMS world for the Americans, and 390 is the competitive LMS for Australians. There is currently no European LMS competitive world because every 2 weeks the American world becomes a European world and the European world switches back to American after 2 weeks. Now that you've made it to LMS, you want to make sure your inventory is exactly how you like it before you go in. If you use this supply chest, you can arrange your whole inventory and your equipped items so it's exactly how you like it before you go in. This is mine if you just want to copy it. I start out with my mage, so I can have my black D-Ad and crossbow, melee here, bruise at the top, but you can make it whatever you like just by dragging items around. The second thing I want to cover in this video is prayer switching. The most crucial being melee prayer. If you don't get it on in time, you're going to take a lot of damage and you have a very small chance of winning the fight. Then range. Range is most likely what will be hitting you most of the time, so you always want to be prepared to pray range. And lastly, of course, magic. Magic is necessary, but not as much as you think. As long as you have tank on, you should be fine if you miss a couple. Here's a great example of good prayer switching. Try to see if you can do this in your fights. See how I almost always have the right prayer on, so he does almost no damage, compared to him where he almost always has the wrong prayer on, and he's taking a lot of damage because of that. I'm just going to let the clip play out so you can see the difference. Thirdly, equally as important is gear switching. Specifically, your armor. Every single hit you take, you want to make sure you have your defensive armor on because it will hugely decrease the damage you take. Now, this isn't necessary, but I would highly recommend anyone to do it because it gives you a huge advantage, and even if you can't get it right every time, if you practice every fight until you get better and better and do it flawlessly, you'll have an immense advantage. Excuse my poor clicks, I just woke up, but focus on how I'm switching my gear. Every time I go in for a barrage, I only have my mystic gear on when he can't attack me. The only hits he's getting are on tank, which is decreasing my total damage taken hugely. Now this guy is really bad or a bot, so it didn't matter too much, but it's always good to practice because even if they are a bot or really bad, no offense, they'll still have the same ticks when they attack, so it'll be the same rotation basically, you know what I mean? So just keep on practicing so you can do it every time. There, I missed one, which is kind of bad of me, but still. Keep on, keep on. There we go, another one. Never stop. Fourthly is eating, which I know sounds pretty simple, but a lot of people do it incorrectly. These fights in LMS are just to outlast your opponent. You're not trying to KO them. So typically, I usually sit around 45 to 50 hit points because I know I can protect melee and they can't hit that high with a bolt or a barrage. Basically, only eat when you're going to get chanced. Being chanced means there's a chance for you to die. So if you're on 40 hit points and they're going for spec, they can actually max a 21 through prayer, and you would die. So I would either eat a brew or maybe shark brew that and then restore and get back into the fight. Fifthly is specking, and I don't really need to show you a clip about this, but basically if they're on robes and have low HP, you want to spec them. It's almost a guaranteed kill. If they're 20, 30 HP, you can easily hit that. And if they're off prayer, you almost always want to spec them. Especially specking early in fights can really swing the momentum, and you can get a huge lead out from the beginning. Lastly is using renderself. I was currently using it right there, and it actually makes you invisible, but only on your client. So only you will not be able to see your character. Now, this is an extremely high level tactic, and it's very difficult to use. You won't be able to see your hit points bar, so you'll have to be looking at your orb to see how much hit points you have left. Also, you won't be able to see what you're wearing or what you're using. So you really only want to use this if you're proficient in everything else I've talked about in this video. But if you use it properly and you do dash dash, I believe it's actually colon render self, you can walk under your opponent and see exactly what they're using and what they're preparing to do before they even use it. It gives you a huge advantage to knowing exactly what you need to pray before they hit you with it. Now you know how to do all that, set up your inventory, hopefully win fights and win games. What do you do with these points you collect? Well, if you trade Justine, you'll have access to the shop of Last Man Standing. Now this shop has recently got a huge buff where it's added every single item from the Bounty Hunter shop in the shop. And these games are free to play, so you don't have to spend any money doing this competitive LMS. Now, if you're a normal account, you want to look in the description and just click on the link. It will go to the wiki where it shows you the best GP per point item, and you just want to buy those, whatever it is at the time. Currently, it's the Blighted Superstore, so it's almost 40,000 gold per point. Now, if you're an Iron Man, you also have access to the shop, which is kind of insane in my opinion. You can get rune arrows if you just want some money for alchemy, or Dragon Bolts E if you want to take on a boss, or maybe Jad and you're not confident / don't have the high enough fletching level to make good bolts. And Blighted Superstores, so if you're doing anything in the wilderness, you never have to use your normal prayer potions or super restores, along with food, looting bags noted, magic shortbow scroll, many other items, including a rune pouch. That's right, you don't have to do Slayer for a rune pouch anymore. Now, there are a couple other things in LMS, like every time you get a kill, you get a key, but I feel like those are pretty self-explanatory, and what upgrades you want to keep and discard are kind of up to you. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. This isn't the normal type of video I make, but I feel like a lot of people could use this information because I don't see very many people doing LMS, and I think it's really, really fun, great for practicing PvPing, and also nice for the loot, especially for Iron Men. If you enjoyed this video, or it helped you at all, please leave a like and comment. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and peace.